Haven't you ever wondered what else is out there?
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Hi, welcome to another edition of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Today we're going to be looking at The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. But this time we're not going to be concentrating on any of the controversies or mistakes or things that get fans angry or anything like that. We're going to look at something a little bit interesting, actually. It's a casting role that remains, should we say, uncharacterized. The actor's named, the actor's pictured, but his character name has not been mentioned, which has led me to speculate. I believe actually this is the first speculation on this particular character. So let us first of all have a look at the IMDb page, which I shall bring up here. So what I'll do is I'll whip down into the corner here, and we'll have a look. Yeah, so here we are. We're looking at the page, and as you can see, this is Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. It's the IMDb page, and we'll have a little wander down the page here until we start seeing the cast members. And there's Morpeth Clark, Benjamin Walker, Nazanin Bernardi, or Buniardi, my apologies to her. So they play relatively famous and yet unknown characters. Famous as in actually famous, Galadriel, Gil-galad. And I say infamous rather than famous, actually, because Bronwyn doesn't exist. She was invented purely for this. There's Elrond, completely miscast, and so on. So there's quite a few characters. There's going to be lots and lots of characters. Let's be honest, there's going to be many characters. And so it amazes me that a lot of them haven't actually been named. Some have. You've got Prince Durin, of course. Owen Arthur playing Prince Durin. You've got Maxim Baldry, who's going to be playing Isildur, and so forth. And there's two of interest, really. One is Daniel Wayman, this fella here. And he's been cast as the Stranger. Now, I'll offer odds of maybe 10 to 1 that the Stranger will be, if not actually Gandalf, it'll be a wizard. Let's be honest, they need a wizard in here because wizards sell. And even though there were no wizards, this is the Second Age and there were no wizards in Middle-earth, I don't think they've got the ability to write anything approaching Tolkien's work. But they can write some generic crap. So, yeah, it's got wizards, probably have a dragon in it, you know, a changeling. Usual old rubbish. Anyway, that's an argument for a different video. This video, we're talking about a character, a particular character. Now, we have an actor here by the name of Peter Mullen, so we'll just click on him, and we'll bring him up, and you can see him, famous Scottish actor, been in many things. If we have a look down, you'll see him for such things as Westworld, Ozark, people will know him from. Top of the Lake, which was actually very good. I remember watching that. The Fear was very good as well, strangely enough. And Yaxley, of course, very famously, he was Yaxley in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. The Deathly Hallows, the Red Riding, lots and lots of things. Absolutely tons of things over the years. But now, of course, as we was up here, and you can see he's in Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, various episodes. His character isn't named. How truly odd. But keep that in mind. So let us now consider the Second Age. This is a set thousands and thousands of years ago. It's the early days. Not the absolute early days, that'd be the first stage. But it's very early days. And in those very early days, there was the first first people who inhabit Middle Earth. In fact, there was the very first person, Tom Bombadil. And I'm wondering, let me see if I can get do a Google search of Tom Bombadil. Images. Yeah, so here's, and let's do this one. Let's bring this across so you can see. So yeah, so here's Tom Bombadil, as in the first being in Middle Earth. And then we'll have a look again at Peter Mullen. I now have to move this across again. And we'll zoom in here. Is it me? Or is there a likeness? Now, of course, Tom Bombadil would have been around in the Second Age. So it's entirely possible, isn't it? They haven't named his character. He looks as though he could definitely play Tom Bombadil, and we know Tom Bombadil was about. So what do we think? Is this Amazon actually getting one thing right? I'll come back up and mention a bit more about it. Yeah, so we're just going to have a sort of a little talk about who Tom Bombadil is. It's very hard to say. Tolkien doesn't describe his origins particularly well, but he could be seen to be said to be the very essence or the spirit of Middle Earth. I suppose it would be genius loci, I think, would be sort of the Latin term for it. The spirit of the place, the essence of the place. But certainly he's been around since the very, very start. He was the first, and he takes care. He looks after. He's the steward of Middle Earth, if you like. But he doesn't get involved in the boring and asinine affairs of mere creatures. He has a bigger bailiwick. He's married to Goldberry. Oh God, I can't think where he describes her once in one of the River Woman's daughter, meaning I think more that she came from the river, not that she happened to be the daughter of a river woman. I think she's a Maya, and that makes her sort of a fae, not a fairy as such. He didn't really have fairies in Lord of the Rings, but she's of a fae spirit. It's kind of a nymph, I think, but she's almost as old as him. They live in the valley near Hobbiton, Withywindle. But we'll have a look at the book cover here. We'll just have a little scan over and we'll discuss him. So yeah, here's the book. This I think was 1934 when this came up. But he's appeared in this, and of course he's appeared in Lord of the Rings in the book. But he doesn't appear. I don't think he appears. Well, he certainly doesn't appear in Jackson's film. I don't think he appeared in the 1978 animated film. 99% sure he didn't appear in that. I think the main problem is he doesn't actually contribute much to the story. He doesn't really get things. Doesn't get a shift on, if you like. In Lord of the Rings, he does help Frodo, but it's a sort of help that it could have been written in another way and just totally avoided the character. But I have a feeling he will be doing more in this because he was around. He was a Second Age character, undoubtedly. I think they need someone with power, and Bombadil is probably the most powerful being on Middle Earth. So I think that's probably why they're going to get him back. But this is all speculation. But anyway, yeah, I think it's likely. No one else has ever raised the point about it, and yet I think if you have a character, Amazon have been inventing characters because they don't have enough, but they need a powerful character. But you can't really invent ultimately very powerful characters, or they would be in the lore. And so I think there are some characters that are in the lore that they're going to have to use. And I think it's telling that a man who could pass, as I say, as Tom Bombadil, and whose character is unnamed, well, seems likely. If you like what you see and hear on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications on more content. Leave a like, always pleased to have a like. Leave a comment, we enjoy reading them. And until next time, take care, be safe, and goodbye.